AtGames ends 2023 with a bang as they just announced their brand new 4K ALU unit. I'm going to give you all the specs, tell you how much it's going to cost, and everything else you need to know, including if you should buy this thing, coming up next. Hey everybody, welcome on back into the Game Shack. I am your host, JDV for Evil Genius Entertainment. Thank you for stopping by. It really does mean a lot to us. As always, you guys are the primary sponsor for this channel. So if you want to keep seeing fantastic content like this, give me a thumbs up on the way out the door. It really does help the channel. Please subscribe if you haven't already and hit the notification bell if you have. All right, so word did drop today that AtGames is indeed moving forward with the 4K version of the ALU, their Legends Ultimate Multicade. When you look at the size of this thing, it's going to be almost exactly the same size as the old ALU, and that is a good thing, because if you are like me and you like to play your buddies in person, then this really is the machine for you, this design, because it is actually big enough that you can have two full-grown people, 200-pound plus people, standing shoulder to shoulder and have a pleasant experience. So I'm very, very happy that they're keeping the big, beefy size of the original ALU in this. In fact, I think it's about a ½ inch taller. So they kind of got rid of the gull wing design you can see there, and more like the Mortal Kombat / Midway, where the outcroppings are a lot more severe, or whatever, more angular. So it does look a little bit more like an arcade machine. The marquee itself is going to be able to change to whatever game it is, because this is now a KI branded cab. It's going to say KI when you turn the machine on, but the marquee is going to switch depending on what game is on. So that is awesome. So you don't have to mess around with trying to put in your own LCD marquee. It's already going to come built in. Pretty cool that it comes out looking as sweet as it does. And if you're a Killer Instinct fan and you're serious about playing other people, this is going to be a very interesting cab in terms of being able to play online. Yes, you are going to be able to play people online through ArcadeNet. I asked them that directly yesterday, and they said, yes, you are going to be able to play these games online. Again, until that is up and running, we don't know how well it runs. That is one thing that Arcade 1UP does really, really well, right? Is once they iron out the bugs, you can play online pretty successfully if you have a strong internet signal. So let's hope that the same is going to be true with this new ALU 4K, but fingers crossed, it's going to be. And just like the 4K pinball games, I believe this has the exact same chipset, and that means that you're going to be able to play much more difficult games to emulate than you could on the original HD version. So you're going to be able to play those late 90s games, those early 2000s that require a lot more firepower under the hood. Now, of course, if you really liked 80s games and early 90s games, then the ALU is perfectly good. But as soon as you started to get past anything that was on a PlayStation 4, like say an N64 or Sega Dreamcast, that's where you might run into some problems on the original ALU. I would say that it's going to work great on this, but of course we're not going to see CoinOps X on this build, just the way we haven't seen it in the latest firmware for the HD. So if you want a CoinOps X, this is not your machine. You're going to have to look at either another product altogether or that original HD version. On the other hand, it is going to come with 200 included games with the ability to, of course, play online and also buy game packs. Now, they haven't said what those 200 games are going to be. Of course, we're going to get Battletoads, Killer Instincts, and some other games from that company, but we don't know what the rest of the lineup is. Presumably, it's not chock full of ColecoVision and Atari 2600 games. As much as I love the Atari 2600, the ALU1 does that perfectly fine, and I would expect to see a lot more challenging games, graphically speaking, on this unit. Time will tell. And that's going to really kind of get down into the value proposition for this, because they're saying the MSRP on this is going to be $12.99. $12.99 is basically double what the ALU HD costs. And what are you going to get for that money? Well, for one thing, you are going to get that 4K screen, of course, but you're getting 3 more inches diagonally, because it's going to be a 27-inch diagonal screen versus the 24. And that actually can be pretty meaningful when you're standing right in front of the machine. That screen is going to look very big when you're standing right in front of it. So to add 3 inches and 4K on top of it means that this screen is probably going to be absolutely fantastic. It's going to make the vertical games that are going to be on here be a lot better because it's going to give a little extra oomph in terms of that. That really is the real big weakness in terms of the HD ALU, is that vertical games, you know, they didn't play so great. Well, they played fine, but they just were a little weak, so that's going to be better on here. You're going to get light up buttons on the controller deck, and that controller deck is going to stay the same size. It's going to have the 2 spinners, it's going to have the trackball, 6 buttons on each side, so they're not shortchanging us there in terms of the size or functionality of that control deck. Again, those are all industry leading type things on the control deck, so that is awesome. I don't know if you're going to be able to turn off those lights or not. That's something I will ask AtGames down the road. Now, I've already mentioned the fact that the chipset is going to be much more powerful than on the ALU, but you're also getting 64 gigabytes in terms of your storage space, so that's a lot more than you got on the original HD, presumably because these games that we're going to get on here are going to require more memory or more storage space just because they're bigger, beefier type games. All right, so what's the bottom line on this? Well, of course, we got to see the game light. Until we know how many games are on this thing, what games are, you know, going to be available to buy in packs or online, things like that, you know, $1,300 is going to be a tough sell for a lot of people. I mean, so I don't know. I got to see what these games are before I'm going to put my money down, but I'm very interested in this game. I think the ALU HD is a great machine. This obviously has the potential to be even a better machine than that, and I congratulate AtGames because they are pushing the ball forward. They are pushing the hardware forward. Yes, they're also making these machines look a lot better than they were, but they're not just doing that. They are putting some significantly bigger processors in their machines. They are putting in 4K screens in their machines. This 27-inch screen in that ALU is going to look absolutely fantastic. Now, if they can get the games to go with it, boy, I mean, it could be absolutely killer. On the other hand, if all we're seeing is Atari 2600 games, you know, it's going to be a tough road to hoe. Time will tell. Let me know down below what you think. Are you interested in this cab at all? Does this bode well for AtGames? Is this a good risk for them? Does this hurt Arcade 1-Up? You know, let me know down below what you guys think. Again, I hope you have a good Christmas and a Happy New Year. I'm sure I have a video up before New Year's. Anyway, all right, love each other, and I'll see you guys in the Game Shack. Thanks for stopping by. Mwah! Merry Christmas again! Merry Christmas!
Be sure to visit EvilGeniusEntertainment.com for exclusive content, swag, casting call news, and much more.